Hello everyone and welcome to Divine Debut. This is Kathy speaking. Thank you so much for being here. This video will be on the astrology of Mars retrograde in the year 2020, this year, starting from mid-year until the end of 2020. Mars will be transiting its home sign of Aries. I will be talking about each individual sign and in which area of life it will be affected. This is for the sun signs and rising signs. So when I mention a sign, it's sun sign and rising. All right, so we know that the year 2020 has been very challenging indeed. But Mars retrograding from mid-year until the end of the year, which is very rare for Mars to be in its home sign for 6 months, as well as retrograding in the same sign, which doesn't happen very often. That's why 2020 is one of those years that, as I've said from the beginning of the year, we will be writing history books. Progressing through the year, we've all seen that this is the case. And of course, the first part of 2020 was very challenging. March, when all this upheaval with the pandemic began, etc., etc. Mars retrograding will be referencing back to that, the time of March. Now, I will be going into details, but as I said, I'm talking to sun signs and rising signs, and I will be also taking 3 tarot cards for each individual signs. So stay with me. I will have the timestamps in the description box below so that you can go straight to your sign. But I would suggest that you listen to the collective, to the information about Mars retrograding so that you know how the energies are playing out. And then you can go to your own individual sign to see specifically where you're being affected, in which area of life. Through the astrology, but through the tarot as well. As I said, 3 cards will give me just an overall energy to see what's going on, an indication of where roughly you are being touched on. Now, it's very rare, as I said, the second part of 2020, and I've got the 9th of September because this is when Mars turned retrograde, but Mars actually started its shadow phase on July 25th. Of 2020. Now, what is the shadow phase? Well, it's the degrees that Mars will be at that it will come back to so that it can retrograde. So there's a back forth with retrograde planets. So shadow phase starts on July 25th. It turns retrograde on September 9th, and it will station direct, which means when I speak of the term station, it means that it's stopping. Well, from our view from the Earth, it looks like Mars is stopping. It's how we are moving, how Mars is moving, and the area that the Earth, so the Earth's point of view, the Earth's view towards Mars, it looks like it's going backwards. It's not really going backwards, but that's what the retrograde is. And when any planet is retrograde, it means that it's closer to the Earth. Now, Mars has not been as close as this to the Earth for a long, long time. So the closer the planet to the Earth, to us, the more amplified its energy is. And it will be stationing direct on the 13th of November or 14th of November, depending on where you are in the world. So in the northern hemisphere, it will station direct on the 13th. If you're in the southern hemisphere, because you guys are ahead of the northern hemisphere, it will be probably around the 14th. So, but the shadow period of Mars turning direct will last until the 2nd of January of 2021. So from when it turns direct, it stations to turn direct until until January 2nd, it will be covering the degrees that it started to retrograde on. So we're looking at the degrees of Mars retrograde, which are 28 degrees, or I should say from the 15th degree until the 28th degree of Aries. So it started to retrograde at 15 degrees. Therefore, its shadow phase started at 15 degrees of Aries. It goes over these 13 degrees, let's say, until the 28th degree, and then it's stationed retrograde, which is on the September 9th. As you can see here, Mars is at 28. So if you can imagine that Mars is at 15, it starts from 15, its shadow phase goes all the way up to, so from the 25th of July, moves direct, moves over its shadow phase until the 28th degree, and then stations retrograde, goes backwards, and that's when it's retrograding. Remember, once it stops, it like stops to a halt. It slows down so much, and remember that Mars is very fiery. It's very quick. So it loves to, it's, race ahead. It's really fast. It's fire. So once Mars starts to slow down, it's like pressing on the brakes not working, and therefore you've got to pull the handbrake. So you can imagine how much of a jolt that is. It's pressure, it's frustration, it's all those things that something's not working. Now, retrograde planets bring people, situations, and subjects of the past. So that's why I'm saying that now with Mars retrograding, it will be echoing what was going on in March, roughly in March of 2020, which, yes, can be a little bit frightening, as that was when the lockdown started. Now, I feel that Mars, who is the god of war, he is the god of passion. Remember that Mars is fire. Aries it rules Aries. Mars also rules Scorpio. So Scorpio will also be affected, as it is the ancient ruler of Scorpio. So think of it this way. I mean, Mars was the god of war. His name in mythology is Aries, and he, of course, is a divine masculine. He is all about, freedom. He wants to move. He wants to fight. But that's the mythology. Let's look at other things, mundane things. What is Mars? Mars is our stamina. It's our fuel. It's fiery. It's energy. It's passion. It's motivation. It's fearlessness. Now, what I need to point out to you as well is that we don't do any surgery whilst Mars is retrograding, because Mars could mean cuts, anything that is sharp. Mars is sharp objects. So cuts, surgery, needles, injections. So anything to do with matters such as these, if you can put them off, then please do so until Mars turns direct. Because Mars is the scalpel. We don't do any elective surgery unless we have to do. If it's something that is necessary and our doctor tells us, yes, this surgery must be done, then you need to listen to your doctor. Other than that, be careful, because Mars, again, is speed. Be careful whilst driving. Because when Mars connects to certain planets, for instance, Uranus, and because Uranus is something sudden, it's unexpected, it's radical, it's like the tower. When Mars connects to Saturn, it's like pushing against a closed door, so it can turn aggressive. Now, So all those things we have to take care with and not do. If we can put them off for a later date, then do so, please. Now, as I said, everyone is affected in a different area of life. Now, Mars will also be squaring, as you could see the position that Mars is in here. And I wanted to point out also that because Aries is a cardinal sign, therefore we've got the cardinal cross, which is Aries, the sign opposite, which is Libra, Capricorn, and Cancer. As you could see, this is the cardinal cross. So house number 1, house number 4, house number 7, and house number 10, that's the cardinal cross. Now, because Mars will be retrograding from the 15th till the 28th degree, think of it this way. And for those of you that are familiar with you have your natal charts, you know where to look. You can look at where Aries is, and you could see in which area of your life it's affecting you on your own personal journey, because your natal chart is your own personal blueprint. It's your fingerprint. Okay, I'm talking about the collective energy. Now, if for those of you that are interested in your own personal charts, you may reach out to me. I've got the links in the description box below if you're interested for me to advise you on where Aries is in your chart and how it will be affecting you. Because when we know the rising sign, obviously, what is your rising sign, then you could see in which area of life you are affected. Now, for those of you that are born from the 15th, so think of it this way, every sign has got 30 degrees. So we split the 30 degrees in 3 groups. Decan 1, Decan 2, Decan 3. Decan 1 will be the first 10 days of the sign. Decan 2 will be the second part. So from the day 11, 10, 11 until 20. So you get what I mean. We split the sign into 3 parts, and Decan 1 is the first part of the sign, Decan 2 is the second. So therefore the 15th degree is smack bang in the middle. So it does touch on those of you that are halfway through the sign. So those of you will be the most affected. Now, I'm not talking only about Aries. I'm talking mainly to the cardinal cross. So if you are Aries, if you are Libra, if you are Capricorn and Cancer, those of you people will be the most affected. But I'd like to point out mainly, why am I pointing this out? Because as you could see here, what's going on in Capricorn? We've got Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter, which are showing up as retrograde here now on the 9th of September. Now, just recently, Jupiter has moved direct, which is positive. This happened on the 13th of September. Now, on the 29th of September, Saturn will also be moving direct. And on the 3rd of October, Pluto will be moving direct, which is great. So things will start to happen. But remember that retrograde planets it's a time that we are given a chance to turn inwards. We don't push for the energy outwards. We change the energy and turn the energy inwards. So this is a chance to look over things that will be coming back to our lives, to be reworked, to be looked over, to be corrected. So redoing. A retrograde means we get a chance to redo. Now, with Mars retrograding, yes, it can be very frustrating. If you feel like you're not getting anywhere, just give it a break. Take a deep breath, take a step back. Do not push. Do not push. As I said, it's just like giving birth. When the midwife tells you it's time to push, that's when we push. Otherwise, what we've got against us is Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter. Now, Jupiter, of course, is benevolent, but it is weak in the sign of Capricorn. Pluto and Saturn is very strong in Capricorn. Pluto likes to be in Capricorn. And remember, this is very much, it's like a pressure cooker. So Mars at the degrees of, as you could see, Pluto is at 22, Saturn is at 25. So we're looking at the last 10 degrees of the cardinal signs. That's where the trouble, in brackets, I'm going to say, be careful. That's where the challenges, the main challenges are. So do take extra care. For those of you that are cardinal signs and your birthday or your rising is at the last decan of the cardinal signs, please take extra care, because Mars is squaring. As you can even see it here, on the 9th of September, it's not exact, as we've got 28 degrees here, Saturn is at 25. There is still a square here. Now, what is Saturn? Saturn is law, order, government, karma. He's the lord of karma and timing. He is the lord of the past. He speaks of traditions, limitations, responsibilities, establishments. Remember, law, order, governments, institutions, establishments. He is the strict teacher. He can be a general in the army, for instance. And he's very slow moving. Saturn is all about time. The positive with Saturn is that, yes, he teaches us the lesson. He makes us pull up our socks. We have to become the elder. Think of it as this, a small example right now. Children going to school now with the lockdown and having to wear a mask at school. I don't know what's happening in your country, but in Greece, it is imperative that children wear a mask to go to school. And remember, the strict teacher, Saturn, Mars, pressure. Can you just imagine how difficult it would be for a four-year-old, 5-year-old having to wear a mask and be playing in the playground with other children and trying to keep a social distance? Well, you could see how much of a pressure cooker Mars square Saturn is. And I just wanted to mention also that 3 times they will meet, so Mars and Saturn, which can be really, really, really difficult. So on the 24th of August of 2020 was the first exact meeting with Mars squaring over to Saturn. A square it's a challenge, it's a lesson, it's work that's got to be done. Now on the 29th of September, again, it's their second meeting. 29th of September is also the day that Saturn is turning direct, but it still will be covering its shadow phase. And then the third meeting will be on the 12th of January of 2021, but Mars will have turned direct, remember, on the 2nd of January. So this end of September, 29th of September, will be a challenge, and of course the time before it. So now, as I'm doing this reading, today's the 21st of September, so we're already in that energy. It's starting to build up. Anything goes. Think of it. Remember, Mars is action. It's wanting to move forward, but it's not able to because it's retrograding. So it's burning tire. It's like we're accelerating without moving. So you can smell that burnt tire, that burning rubber, which is terrible. And we've got a wall in front of us. So we're revving up and we're about to go smack into that wall. So just as I said, take a step back, take a deep breath, and know that whoever is your Saturn, whoever is across from you, whoever is pushing your buttons, remember that it is fated. It's meant to happen. We're meant to go through this. And remember that changes always come through difficulty. A birth does not come without pain. And remember that also Pluto is there. So Mars, in the next 6 months, will be squaring over to Pluto, Jupiter, and Saturn. And of course, Aries, the goddess of war and discord. Aries is like the people against the government. Just to give you an example, this is someone speaking up where there's been an injustice. Okay, so a lot is going to happen. We just have to do the best that we can. It's like we're at the tail end of the storm, but just make sure you've got your seatbelts on when you're driving, literally and metaphorically. We're getting ready to enter that wormhole as we could see the light at the end of the tunnel. And it's going to get fast. It's going to get quite fiery. Okay? So, all right, I think that I've given you enough information. I do believe that Spirit is here. Spirit is there to guide us. Pay attention. Take time out to meditate. Do what we need to do. Let's do what we need to do. Let's do the work. It is Saturn asking us to do the work as something is trying to change. Remember the world order with all these major planets here in the sign of Capricorn. Things are changing. The world is changing. There is a transformation that we're going through on a collective and personal scale. So remember that 2021 is going to be a much better year. So looking forward to it, especially from, I would say, roughly starting from Christmas of 2020. I feel as though it's going to be a really wonderful Christmas because like from last Christmas of 2019, that's when COVID had already started. Maybe we were not familiar with it, but the first case started in December, if I'm not mistaken. So it is a ride that we've had to go on board with, each and every person for their own personal, fate or changes that we're meant to take in our lives. And as I said again, whatever changes will be coming through there for our own good. So let's just keep that in mind. We know that the light always wins the dark, and that's the positive side of things. So try, if you're coming across someone that's in their Saturnian energy, just know where they're coming from. They don't mean to be like that. I'm talking about on a personal level, as everyone is feeling the pressure right now. So if you can come from love, come from the heart, and do the work, that's all is asked from us. So I've just gone a little bit forward to the 3rd of October. As you could see, Saturn has stationed to turn direct, and it's obviously very amplified. Pluto is just about in that position, so it's turning direct as well. And the square is still very important here with Mars. Let's go a little bit forward because I want you to pay attention to the beginning of October as soon as Pluto and Saturn turn direct, as you could see here. And Mars is at 23, so it's smack bang right in between these two big malefic planets. As you can see here now, we've also got Uranus, which is the rebellion. It's innovation, it's trouble, it's thunder, it's lightning. Uranus is also the people. It's, the public. And it's right across, so there is an opposition with Mercury. And Mercury is also slowing down, ready to turn retrograde. It will be retrograding in the sign of Scorpio, but that will be another video that I'll be doing for you. Now, Black Moon Lilith is here as well. And Black Moon Lilith is very, very challenging. So 3rd and 4th of October, it starts to get pressurized a lot. As you can see here now, if you think of Uranus, it's the right brain, it's groups, affiliations, associations, humans. So humanitarianism. Remember, it's the ruling planet of Aquarius. And Aquarius is also friendships. It's also very scientific. It's radical. It's a revolution. It's right across Mercury. And Mercury in Scorpio, it's like going deep. It goes deep so it can retrieve the information from Scorpio. Issues with communication, truth coming to light, sudden shocking revelations that could be wild, very wild. Remember also that Uranus can be an electrical storm. Okay. Mercury is also business. It's anything to do with communication, mobility. Cars, watch out with driving at this time. We've got the square that's very, very harsh here. Let's go forward. And as you can see, the sun is squaring over to Aries, okay, the goddess of discord and, revolution, getting out and speaking up about the truth. Remember, Jupiter is also expansion and growth. So it amplifies everything. So something about what is the sun? It's the soul. It's seeing the truth. Remember that the sun is also masculine energy. It rules Leo. So Libra is also other people. So this could be a clash. This is a square. This is turning a corner. Sort of, people taking to the streets and speaking up. Things that have been hidden will be coming to clarity. Remember that the sun will show us things that were hidden. And remember that also the sun is the king. It's Leo. So anything to do with what is the emperor? The emperor is leadership. Remember also that Pluto and Saturn is governmental agencies. It's the banks. It's the people that are in power. But also Pluto means the people. Okay, it is the people. So Pluto does bring transformation, regeneration. So things are pressurized right now as the changes need to happen. Let's see what else is going on here as these aspects are getting tighter and tighter. And I wanted to show you as there is a T-square forming. As you can see here, Mars is in opposition to the sun. So the truth in relation to what's stunting us, what's stopping us from moving forward. Remember that Mars is the warrior, okay? And it's squaring over to the big players here. And there's also a square from Jupiter to the sun and also to Pluto. So as you can see, the sun is at 18 degrees, so it's coming up to the degrees of Pluto and Saturn. So things are happening here. Remember that the T-square, which is the square from Mars to the big players here and the big players to the sun, there is an opposition here. So the pressure is building. It is building greatly. And what I've noticed here is the positive is that there is a grand trine here. So the 12th of October, we do have some sort of help. This could be help with releasing old, outworn, karmic situations, beliefs as well, with the South Node connecting to the moon in Leo. Remember that Leo is all about taking charge. It's fire. It's generosity. It's the house of children. It is the house of creation. So there is a little bit of helpful energy. So Mars connecting to the moon. And this is a quick energy, but it is somewhat healing. Okay, and let's go forward a little bit more. And so on the 13th, still this T-square is very, very, very strong. And it starts to... it's getting really tight now and really clear. As you can see, the new moon in Libra. Okay, so on the 16th and 17th of the month of October, something new is being born here out of this pressure. It's like that diamond in the rough being born, being produced with all this pressure. Okay, so look out for these dates. They're very, very gnarly indeed. And remember that Uranus is in the mix here as well. And Uranus is radical. It can be very stressful for a lot of people. So I just needed to point that out to you. I'm going to go now to show you what's going on for each sign. I will be talking about what you have to look at depending on who you are. So remember, I will be taking some tarot as well. So starting off with Aries. Okay, Aries and Aries rising. Okay, Mars is your ruling planet, so therefore you are very affected, especially those of you that are that have got your sun or your rising at the third decan of the sign. This is going to be very life-changing for you. Of course, the first house is, it's I, me, my, okay? It's how you're seen out in the world. It's connected to your being, your soul. Remember that first house is the natural house of Aries. So Aries is the seed that is planted, okay? Also, you're affected because the big players are in your 10th house. 10th house is your status. It's your career, so something maybe that you have created, or your job. This could be connected to an elder, to a tough boss, to anything to do with governments as well, institutions, the law. Okay, so it is, you are in a square to what's going on up here, so that means change. That means turning a major corner in your life. Remember also that Capricorn is very, Saturn, I should say, which rules Capricorn, is very, it's very karmic. Pluto is very karmic as well. But the good thing is that now Jupiter is starting to turn direct. You're going to feel the pressure with all these three planets moving direct. You're going to feel the pressure, but it's all about doing the work. Now, as I said, redirecting the energy inwards. Remember? So again, Mars is what we work towards. So yes, it can mean what you're working towards. Also, Chiron is here in your first house, so this could be issues of self-worth coming up. So doing the work, trying to heal your sense of, am I good enough for this? Okay, am I good enough to be here? Am I good enough for this connection? Am I good enough for this relationship, let's say? So let's take Aries, let's take a few cards for you. As I said, I will be taking some tarot as well. Now remember that situations, people could be coming back from the past, and it's a time to, it's a chance to be able to look at those things and be able to iron out those creases in subjects that I've already mentioned for you. And again, you know, Jupiter being in the 10th, Jupiter does speak of higher education. So that could be something as well that you could be looking at and you feel the pressure of. So let's have a look. We have the Page of Cups. So the Page of Cups is Pisces. Pisces, for me, speaks of some sort of a cycle that is necessary to end. This could mean someone coming back to apologize in relation to a love relationship. This could be concerning a child because the page is a child. Let's see what else you've got. We've got the Ace of Cups. Wow, Aries. And we've got the Four of Swords. So what I see here, Aries, is that it's concerning love, and there's been some sort of a heartbreak. It could be, doesn't have to be love. It could be something that's wanting to come through to make you happy, something that you've had a disappointment with, because the Four of Swords comes after the Three. So it's a time for you, as I said, to turn inwards, meditate, try and heal those wounds. This Ace of Cups in this deck that I'm using, which is the Gilded Tarot Royale, does show a cup that's overflowing. There is an eye here, so it looks like you've shed some tears, okay? And as I said, this could be a time for you to heal something to do with an offer from the past, an offer of love, an offer of romance. Let's take one more card on that Four of Swords to see what's coming after that. And we've got the King of Wands. So this could be a fire sign or someone that is ready to come through. This could be another side to you that you power up. Remember that the King of Wands is someone that's ready to create, someone who's got a strong desire to move forward. So you are going through some sort of a healing because of some sort of a heartbreak or a disappointment of the past. Some of you may be waiting on an apology to come through, or if this is a project that you haven't been able to get up and off the ground, I feel that it's time now that the energies will play out. You have got the help. You're holding that Ace of Wands in your hand. So there is a desire. We've got air here, so Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, and we've got Pisces, okay? Also, it could be in relation to another fire sign, so Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. So that's what is going on for you, dear Aries. So good luck with that. As I said, try not to, because I know that it can be very frustrating for you because you're not able to move forward. Okay, use your time constructively in an intelligent way and don't beat yourself up. Just put in the work now. That's what it's asking for. Okay, Taurus and Taurus rising. Dear Taurus, Mars retrograding will be affecting you it's transiting your 12th house. 12th house is things that are hidden. 12th house is the house of karma, some sort of an ending. You're trying to end some sort of a cycle. Could be a cycle that's been quite challenging. Anything to do with institutions, hospitals, anything to do with 12th house is also the house of magic. It's the natural house of Pisces. So things that may have been quite confusing for you, you're looking for the solution, okay? And it's also, and remember that the 12th house also has got to do with the past. So this is, remember, Mars retrograding is also the past. So this is a double whammy to do with the past for you. And those big players for you are squaring Mars. So your 12th house is where Mars is transiting for you, and your 9th house. 9th house has got to do with truth, your beliefs. It's got to do with higher education. It's the house of philosophy. It's the house of other cultures, people that are at a distance, different beliefs, people that are coming from different cultures, different beliefs. Okay, and anything to do with worldly matters. Okay, that's where the pressure is on for you. Okay, so you could be dealing, let's say, with, and I'm going to take 3 cards for you. You could be dealing with someone that you've got in your heart. This could be a secretive connection, an emotional connection. Could be someone that's at a distance, and with the lockdown, it's been hard to get together, to come together. But this could mean that you need to surrender, okay, and just give it time. Let's take 3 cards and see what's happening. Where are you affected cards. So we've got the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is Earth. This could be your energy. This could be a Virgo or a Capricorn. It is the Virgo card, logically. So slow and steady movement forward. Things to do with money as well. As I said, because the 12th house is an ending of a cycle, doesn't mean that money is not in this area for you and what's going on. So we've got the Page of Wands as well. So someone is wanting to take that leap of faith. There's been really slow movement, slow, steady paced and planning. But someone wants to take a leap of faith. Remember that the Page of Wands is very creative. And we've also got the Page of Cups. So sometimes with the Knight of Pentacles in other decks, it looks as though there is no movement at all. In this deck, there is slow and steady movement. So there's slow movement in the past, but what you're ready to do is take a leap of faith, take a risk. This could have to do with money matters as well, and something that you're creating. You're wanting to take a risk. You're waiting on an offer maybe to come through. Remember that the Page of Cups is only a page, and some of you could be needing to, you need more maybe to open up your vision, your view, and to be able to create, maybe even at a distance with maybe a company that is at a foreign place. Okay, this is like you having a 20/20 vision, being able to see things that were hidden as well. Okay, so we've got 2 pages here, so this is fresh energy. And there may also be an apology that is necessary, because the Page of Cups can mean an apology. So if there is some sort of a matter coming back from the past, someone could be coming through with an apology for you, as they may have kept information from you. They needed to be certain before they could move direct. Maybe that was your energy. Now someone is willing to take a risk. Could be you or the other person. So let's go on to the sign of Gemini. Dear Gemini, okay, so you are being affected in your 11th house. Mars is retrograding in your 11th. 11th house is money coming through after career. It's the house of wishes and dreams. It is the house of groups and associations. And also you're affected in your 8th house. So 11th house and 8th house. The 8th house is a money house. It's money coming through other sources, through other people, through government agencies, through banks, through wills, okay, inheritance. So the 8th house is also the house of death and transformation. So something is transforming for you. This could have to do with money matters, dear Gemini. Remember not to push too hard, because that can backfire. Remember, Mars retrograding is giving you the chance to redirect your energy. You will know when the door is open. You will feel it. Trust your intuition. The 8th house is also, it's the natural house of Scorpio. So this could also be things that were hidden in relation to money matters. 11th house could be, because the 11th house is ruled by Aquarius. And Aquarius is all about truth. So you could be finding out about things that were hidden in relation to money matters, in relation to commitments, because the 8th house is also the house of commitment. And whatever you find out could be some sort of a wish fulfillment. Let's have a look at what the tarot says. We have the 7 of Swords. There we go. So the 7 of Swords does mean someone tried to get away with something. But Gemini, you are so sharp. You're very logical. I feel that you may be figuring out what's been playing beneath the surface, what someone's been up to. We've got the Tower, so this can be quite shocking. Remember, the Tower can be Uranus, which rules the 11th. that I was just talking to you about, and the 8th, which is the house of Scorpio. The tower is both those houses. So can be quite a shocking revelation. Someone else could be getting a shock or a rude awakening to see that you are a step ahead of them. And we've got the Page of Wands. And the Page of Wands is creating something. Okay? This is being inspired to take that leap of faith. So there is a major shift, some sort of a breakdown, a major shift and awakening to the truth. And I feel that it is releasing you from something that was quite deceptive. And this may also be just a revelation, okay, a revelation of a new beginning for you, because remember that the Page of Wands is someone that's willing to take that risk, ready to go on that journey. I'm going to take one more card on the Tower, and we've got the Three of Wands. That is beautiful. So in this deck that I'm using, so this is the Gilded Tarot Royale. We've got the ship, the Three of Wands, and this person is facing the ship. Usually we say that someone is waiting for their ships to come through. You can see your ship is here. You're ready to board and go on that adventure. That could be a literal adventure. That could be a metaphorical. It can play out in many different ways. And you could be doing this, without letting people know. So this could be you where your money is concerned. You've been working secretly, and now you're ready to expand. Someone is going to get a shock here, a shocking revelation. Could be a beautiful surprise for you, and it could be quite shocking for the other person. Okay, dear Cancer and Cancer rising. So you are being affected. Mars is retrograding in your 10th. 10th house is the house of status. It's the house of career. It's the house of the elder. Remember that the 10th house is ruled by Saturn. So it's all about timing. And you're also affected as there is a transformation happening for you in your 7th house of other people, the house of marriage, the house of partnerships, if this is business. So 10th house and 7th house, interesting, dear Cancer, that this could be a time that you're working through, and I'm shuffling the cards as I'm talking to you. This could be you working through doing some work in some sort of a partnership, whether this is preparing to bring to the world, a new partnership. This could be business, this could be romance. Your status may be changing as you may be taking the next step and committing to a relationship. Remember that the 10th house is your status. It's how people see you. Are you single? Are you committed? What are you? So the change is happening in your relationships. And the 10th house can also be the father. So this is a bit of a pressure cooker, but it's also giving you the chance to work and transform a situation. So dear Cancer, let's have a look at your cards, 3 cards. We have the Four of Pentacles, which is holding back on something. Four of Pentacles is my Taurus card. Holding back on something or holding tightly to something that you've been trying to manifest. We've got the Two of Pentacles, so more earth. Dear Cancer, you've either got strong earth in your chart or you're dealing with another earth sign. Two of Pentacles is a decision that needs to be made. It's also juggling. You may have been very busy working beneath the surface, not letting people know about this. Let's take another card, and we have the Moon. So yes, the Moon does speak of family, home. This is your card for me. Well, it is Pisces. The Moon is Pisces, but it's also the Moon rules you, dear Cancer. So I did say something that you've been trying to maybe even keep from the family. And again, it does point to the past, something to do with the past. Remember that retrograde planets, Mars retrograding, is bringing a situation back from the past. It could have to do with family, someone that feels like family, or that you have kept something secretive from your mother. Some of you could be keeping something secretive to do with motherhood. So this could be also a pregnancy, because the 10th house is your status. So you could be, if you are pregnant and you don't want to share this with others yet, remember that pregnancy, if you're turning into a mother, well, that's your status is changed. So things to do with the distant past. Remember also that the moon can speak of strong emotions. So things that were hidden. This could also be opening up and speaking the truth about how you feel about the other person. And therefore, through that, feeling the pressure to share this with the other person, taking that leap of faith. Remember that Mars is the warrior. Let's have a look. Let's take one more card on the moon. And we've got the Page of Wands. And Page of Wands for me is very much the Aries energy. And it's already shown up for all the signs up to now. Page of Wands. It's like the Fool, but it's the minor arcana. So this is ready to take that leap of faith to create. Remember that the Page of Wands holds the wand. He's creating something. He's willing to take that risk. Okay? And I think Cancer, that's what I've got for you. Okay, so you could be dealing with an Aries or another fire sign. Okay, let's go on to the sign of Leo. Leo and Leo rising, you are being affected in your 9th house. So Mars is retrograding in your 9th. 9th house is higher education. It's the house of truth, philosophy. It's the house of spirituality, your beliefs. It's also the house of different cultures, worldly matters, and the law. And you're also affected, so the big players are turning direct in your 6th house. 6th house is your daily routine. It's the house of health. So it's also the house of pets. Okay, so you could be expanding. You could be working on something where you're expanding the way you see the world. So your ideas are changing. So, anything that you had as your ideals, I feel that is changing. And it could also have to do with work, because 6th house is what we do daily. Okay, so 6th house is also looking at the details. So remember that the 9th house is naturally very expansive, but the 6th house is looking more at the details. So you're in between those two areas, okay? So your beliefs, it could be that you're changing the way you live your life. So remember that the 6th house is hygiene, it's diet. It's also very much about crossing your T's and dotting your I's. So getting more grounded, which is the natural house of Virgo, is the 6th house. Let me see. What does the tarot say for you, Leo? We have the High Priestess. So again, spirit, anything to do with spirit. Some of you could be just transforming, getting into that higher self of yours. So not being so much about the physical, the mundane, but more about what else is out there, that we are not alone here. The sky is, there is more to life than what we live on our 3D plane. that could be what is important for you. We've got the Five of Cups as well. And we've got the Two of Pentacles. Okay, so what I feel with the High Priestess, because the High Priestess can speak of secrets as well, but she's all about mysticism and secrets that were withheld. So I feel as though some of you have been doing your detective work. And again, if you've been dealing with someone that is at a distance, I feel that if there have been secrets that have been withheld, with the Five of Cups, there is some sort of a disappointment that you're going through. But not all hope is lost here, Leo, because you're on the verge of making a decision. That you end with the Two of Pentacles. Let's take one card on the Two of Pentacles. And you've got the Six of Swords. Six of Swords is leaving troubles behind and moving to calmer waters. This could be literal travel as well. So you're traveling over water, but you're leaving your troubles behind. There is, and what I feel here is that you're expanding your view, not being so nitty-picky. And I feel that that's where you're changing, Leo. I feel that that's what's happening with you. You're moving into that fiery energy, okay, that is, of course, Aries. You're also fire. So there is, your connection to Aries, where Mars is retrograding, is in a trine. So logically, whatever you need to change is meant to be for your highest good. Now, some of you are leaving a situation where you've come to a conclusion that you're not on the same page with the other person. You're more open-minded, let's say. The other person is more about the details. Some of you are leaving those troubles behind and overcoming, and others of you are literally leaving. Maybe it could be a partnership at work, could be someone that you relate to daily. And it could also be someone that is at a distance to you. Could be any sort of a connection. All right, Leo, so that's what I feel is going on for you. All right, Virgo and Virgo rising. Virgo, you are being affected. Mars for you is retrograding in your 8th house. The 8th house is a money house. It is the house of death and transformation. It is the house of the occult, and I just dropped a card. I dropped a few cards. So I dropped the Two of Pentacles, the Five of Cups, and the Eight of Pentacles. So, well, I didn't really get to finish with the astrology, but what I'm going to say these cards mean to me is that you're going to be up for a decision because you've had some sort of a disappointment. And the decision in whichever area of life, whether it's work, emotion, whatever you decide is that you're willing to put in the work. You're going to continue to work on this. You're not going to get stuck on the disappointment. And this could be the other person as well. Now, what was I saying? Yes, the 8th house is the house of death and transformation. It's also money from your partner, from other sources. 8th house is also the house of the occult, things that are dark, things that are hidden. 2 cards have just opened up and I'm going to have to take them. I'll tell you in a minute what they are. And you're also affected in your 5th house of romance, creation, children, and risk-taking. Remember, the 5th house is something that we create to bring to the world. It's also the fun house, but it's also the house of romance, flirtation. So there is some fundamental change as well, because the 8th house is the house of commitments. It's moving in together, sharing on a very deep level. So Virgo, 2 cards that fell out. We've got the King of Wands, which could be a Sagittarius, Aries, Leo. 8 of Swords. 8 of Swords is someone that's feeling bound and chained. So we've also got Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. And one more card, we've got the 9 of Swords. So a lot of worry around desires of physical desires. Also some sort of a blockage where money from what you've created coming through other sources. A bit of a hassle there. So remember that you've got the 8 and 9 of swords. That's 17 swords. 17 is also the star, so Aquarius energy is here. And King of Wands doesn't have to be a fire sign, could be any sign. Obviously, I'm going to take another card, Virgo. Let's take that 9 of swords, which is you having those sleepless nights, a lot of worries, too much thought, too much nitpicking. Let's see. Or you may be dealing with someone that wants to come forward and create with you, but there's things that are in the way. Let's take that last card, and we've got the Lovers. So it's all about a decision that needs to be made, Virgo. Now, the Lovers is a 6. It's a number of balance. It is Gemini, and Gemini is all about someone making a decision. Remember, Gemini is the twins. A decision where someone's putting maybe too much logic. Of course, this could be you or the other person. Too much logic and not enough heart. So that's what's going on for you. This is a very powerful connection as well. So what I see, obviously, we've got the Lovers here, and this is a connection that's coming to fruition after a lot of worry and a lot of obstacles. This does not have to be only love. This could be a partnership in which you have created, okay? Because the King of Wands is also, he's very creative, okay? There is a lot of passion here, but there's also, it's like hot, cold, Virgo. All right, so that's what's going on for you. You do end up with the Lovers, so very good. Let's have a look. Let's go on to Libra. Hello, Libra and Libra rising. You are being affected in your 7th house. So Mars is retrograding your 7th. 7th house is the house of others, the house of partnerships. And your 4th house, the 4th house is family. It's your heritage. It's your home. It's where your home is. Okay, it's got to do with the past as well. So, wow. So you've got a chance to work on things. It's going to be very pressurized though. So in relation to other people, to your partnerships, and to your home. So your emotional, your financial security, your security where nurturing is provided to you or not from the other person. Okay, let's have a look. Let's take 3 cards. Libra, we have the Ace of Cups. Now, in the deck that I'm using, which is the Gilded Tarot Royale, the Ace of Cups can mean tears of joy or tears of sadness. We have the Knight of Wands, which is Sagittarius. Ace of Cups, of course, is water, so it could mean Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, but also, and because it's the 4th house, I'm going to throw in Cancer. Cancer would be the most important for you. We've got the Knight of Wands, which is Sagittarius. Knight of Wands is someone that's driven by their passion. This sometimes can mean the player. Let's take another card. And we've got the 5 of Swords. And the 5 of Swords is an imbalance. It is harsh, as we usually have external circumstances that are infiltrating into this relationship, if that's what it is. This could be, of course, very creative energies as well, where your partnerships, in relation to what you do daily and in your partnerships, there could be tough competition with the 5 of Swords that you're going to have to fight for. And dear Libra, especially for those of you that are at the 3rd decan, the pressure is on for you, unfortunately. Let's take another card on that 5 of Swords. Now, we've also got air here, which I feel is mainly your energy. And we've got the 5 of Pentacles as well. So you've got 2 5s here. So this could be your money situation or emotional. There is no emotional connection here because, as I said, it's a time of having to do the work. Remember that swords are our perception. They can be tough words. I feel that here, if this is a romantic connection, one person is more about the emotional connection, the other person is more about the physical connection, and that's where the disconnection is. So you're both feeling the same, but with 2 5s as an ending here, the result here in your tarot means that this will come at some point, it will come to an ending. Remember that the 5 of Pentacles says that we need to change our perspective. There is help behind you as long as you change the way you look at things, dear Libra. That's what I feel is going on for you. So I will leave it there. As I said, it's also in relation to any business matters. So there is a challenge where your money is concerned and what you are creating. Okay, next sign, Scorpio. Scorpio Sun and Scorpio Rising. Mars is retrograding in your 6th house, and those big players are in your 3rd house. 6th house is your daily routine. It's your house of health. Remember, Mars retrograding in your house of health can mean high blood pressure, so do try and relax. Remember that Mars wants to move forward and it's not able to. Your 6th house is the house of work. It's the house of what do you do daily. It's also the house of pets. Now, 3rd house is the house of business. It's the house of communication, mobility, wanting to move forward. And remember that 3rd house is where those big players are, the malefic planets, which are turning direct now, as well as Jupiter, which has moved direct already when I'm doing this video. But yeah, 3rd house is the house of collaboration. It's the house of neighbors, siblings. Okay, so some of you could be working with siblings. Just do take care. Try not to, because the rope is already tight. I mean, there's a, it's like a tug of war. Be careful not to break that rope, not to sever ties with your the people that you are collaborating with. This can be very pressurized, so do take care. Now, also Scorpio, because Mars is your it's your ancient ruling planet, it will be transiting your 7th house. So again, partnerships, but also romance. It could also be marriage. So do take care. Okay, so let's take some cards for you, Scorpio, and see what's going on for you. What does the tarot have for you? Okay, Scorpio and Mars retrograding. Okay, we have the 7 of Pentacles. So you're looking at your investments, time, energy. You've invested your money. You've invested in whatever you're doing daily, but also in your collaborations, remember, and anything that has got to do with, remember that the 3rd house also rules gadgets. It's the natural house of Gemini, so it rules gadgets, as well as cars, anything that is mobile, bikes, etc., etc. Let's take another card. We've got the Page of Wands, and it's incredible that this card has come out for practically all the signs. I do see it as Aries energy. Page of Wands is someone that's wanting to create, someone that's very passionate. It is the minor arcana of the Fool. Someone is willing to take a risk here to create. And we've got the Hanging Man. Wow. So the Hanging Man is Pisces, and it's needing to... it's like the pressure that you want to move forward, but you're needing to either end some sort of a cycle, something that was karmic for you. This may have also been a clandestine relationship that you haven't been sharing with others. It's secretive. Pisces can also be very spiritual. So believing in the divine, waiting to connect with the divine. This is a very enlightening card, but it does ask for surrender and as I said, surrender until a certain era or a cycle ends. It's a very karmic cycle that needs to end. Okay, now the Hanging Man is also of unconditional love. So for those of you that are dealing with a love relationship, it looks like there has been a surrender. There will be a surrender here, and therefore you will be able to create. Now, some of you have invested time and energy on whatever you're dealing with, okay, and it's asking for you to surrender and try and see things from a different perspective. Now, this could be the other person you're dealing with. Let's take one more card on that Hanging Man. And we've got the Strength card, which asks for courage. It asks for patience. And remember that Leo is all about, it's very creative energy. And it's also, Leo is the sun. If this is something secretive, it's something that you want to create and bring to the world. But it requires to trust the other person and the collaboration that you're trying to work on here. That's what it asks for. Courage, patience, and trust. And of course, the sign of Leo is here, Pisces, and there is a bit of Earth as well. So Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. All right, Scorpio, so good luck. Let's go on to the sign of Sagittarius. Sagittarius, Sun and Rising. Okay, Mars will be retrograding in your fifth. Fifth house is the house of creation. It's the house of fun. It's the house of romance. It's the house of children. Okay, so you're feeling the pressure, obviously, in that area of life. Some of you may be wanting to take a risk and have fun and flirt and, well, fifth house is also the house of gambling. So yes, taking a leap of faith, let's say. And also you're affected in your second house. Second house is the house of values. It's also the money house. And the second house is also, it's got to do with the five senses. So what makes you feel good? So if there are differences with another person and in relation to romance, having fun, taking a risk or not, is it worth? Are we on the same page? Is this connection worth my while? I think that that's the work that you're needing to do right now. Let's take some tarot and see what else is going on. And also I want to say something that you are trying to create, you're working on. Will this bring value to your life and will this bring money in is the question. That's what you're looking at. Let's take the tarot. We've got the Four of Wands, so it could have to do with marriage, a commitment. It could also mean the Four of Wands I see as a card of getting secure also through what you've created, getting secure financially so that you could be certain of your future in what you're, the foundations that you're putting in at this time. Let's take another card. We've got the Ten of Wands, so there's a lot of fire. You could be dealing with another fire sign. Ten of Wands in this deck that I'm using, which is the Gilded Tarot Royale, is showing that this person has got a heavy weight on their back, but they can actually see their goal. So tens always bring an ending, which is good. Let's take the third card. And we've got more fire, so the Seven of Wands. Wow, so Seven of Wands is a card of, you've got the upper hand, even though the odds are against this working out. There is a lot of fire, so I'm going to say, dear Sagittarius, I feel that you've got a lot of pressure, a lot of heaviness that you're dealing with. You're up against quite a bit, but you've got the upper hand here. Now, this could also be a power struggle that you're dealing with in a commitment, in a partnership as well. Okay, so it can have to do with work because wands are all about our creation. Let's take one more card on that Seven of Wands. And you've got the Ten of Cups, dear Sagittarius, so there's nothing to fear. The Mars retrograding in Aries is in a trine to your sign. So that is, even though it's challenging, it will give you, it will provide for you. okay, because it's a very positive configuration to your sign. All right, so 10 of Cups again means bliss, okay, means having all those cups of yours filled, okay, and remember that this is the end of this burdensome cycle. The 10 of Cups turns into the Ace of Cups, so there's a new beginning, a new chapter that you are moving into. All right, Capricorn and Capricorn rising. Capricorn, it's been really tough for you, I know that, with Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn retrograding in your sign. It's been an uphill battle, but you are that mountain goat. Thank goodness now Jupiter is turning direct. So is Saturn, so is Pluto. So you could be starting to see your rewards as you've been going through much challenges. Now, the forward motion is happening in your 4th house with Mars. That's where you're working. And what I mean by that is Mars retrograding in your 4th house has got to do with family, with a marriage, of course, because, well, it could be the marriage, doesn't have to be your family of heritage. It could be the family that you've built. Okay, 4th house is also emotional security, having that, feeling good, feeling safe. Okay, and the 4th house has got to do with matters of the past as well. Now that's where Mars is retrograding, so that could be quite harsh as you're trying to move forward. 4th house is also something that you could be building on. This could be a natural, like building a home. Okay, trying to purchase a new home, for instance. It's all systems go from the beginning of October, but remember that with Mars retrograde, it's as though we're still trying to finish up, polish something that we've been working on. And everything else, I mean, the big players that are turning direct are in your 1st house. The 1st house is thyself. It's got to do with how you're seen out in the world, okay? It's got to do with planting that seed. Remember, it's the natural house of Aries. 1st house is like a beginning. So that's what you're working on. That's what it will be a little bit challenging for you. It will be quite challenging, especially if you are born in the 3rd decan. Remember that the 3rd decan is where the pressure is, mainly. And it's asking for hard work. This is like the peak of the pains, those birth pains, okay? So you've got a little bit more to go. Patience is required. You are a very patient, very slow-moving, and you could see the mountaintop that you're almost there. Let's take the tarot and see what's going on. First card, we have the Ace of Cups. Now, the Ace of Cups in the Gilded Tarot Royale does show the cup overflowing. It looks like there's tears. These are either tears of joy or tears of sadness. We have the Tower, which is a sudden change, a shift, a shock, an awakening, where matters of love, matters of creation are concerned. And we've got the 7 of Wands, which is you still trying to have the upper hand, okay? You've got the wand in your hand. It's up to you, even though it's against the odds what you're fighting for. But this could also be something that is a major shift. This could be a help from Spirit. That's how I see it. Why? Because the Tower is a major arcana. If you haven't been able to bring in the change, Spirit comes in and brings the shift, the revelation to someone who needed an awakening. Could be the other person. Let's take another card on this 7 of Wands. And we've got the World card. Beautiful. The World card means a success. You get through these lessons. This karmic cycle ends. This could be in relation to worldly matters, someone who is at a distance to you. Anything that you're creating overall will end up being successful. You get to the finish line. That's what I see. So, Capricorn, we've got Scorpio here. We've got Aquarius. We've got water. So, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. We've got some fire, Leo, Sagittarius, Aries. And we've also got the 4 fixed energies, which is the World card. So, Scorpio, Taurus. We've also got Leo and Aquarius. Okay, so you could be dealing with any of those signs. The World card says that this karmic chapter is over for you. You end it successfully. And of course, the World card can also mean world travel. So, thank you. Aquarius and Aquarius rising. Okay, Mars will be retrograding for you in your 3rd house, the house of collaboration, siblings, neighbors, and it's also the house of communication. Anything written, spoken, collaborated. Remember that the 3rd house is the natural house of Gemini, so it could be a decision because Gemini is the twins. It's all about truth, remember, having that difficult conversation. And also you are affected in your 12th house, the house of secrets. Remember that the 12th house is a very dark house. 12th house can be a karmic ending to a cycle. 12th house is also the house of escapism. So trying to escape the truth. 12th house can also mean it's the house of magic. It's unconditional love. It can also be the house of an illusion. So this could mean that you are having some sort of a conversation about things that were hidden. This could be you collaborating within a group where spiritual matters are concerned. This could be a collaboration with another person in relation to, again, I'm going to say, things that were quite confusing for you. That conversation could be coming through. Someone's ready to collaborate with you. And again, remember that the 3rd house is things to do with your neighborhood, your siblings, and anything that is mobile. Remember that the 3rd house is gadgets, it's cars, it's mobile phones. And 12th house is also, it rules prisons, it rules institutions, it rules hospitals. So any of those matters could be coming up for you, Aquarius. And remember that the 12th house is the natural house of Pisces. So it's asking for you to surrender that you could also be receiving the enlightenment from Spirit. So the truth after confusion. Let's have a look at some cards. We've got the 5 of Wands. This could be disagreements within a family, with siblings, with your neighbors. There is some misconception, miscommunication. We've got the 9 of Wands, so it's quite heavy. The 9 of Wands is someone having put up a wall, you're not able to get through to someone where there's been miscommunication, not being on the same page, arguments. This could be someone having ghosted you. And we've got the Lovers, which is the card of Gemini. This could be a secretive connection, a very powerful connection, romantic, of course, with someone that you have not, someone that could be in your neighborhood, but this could also be someone that you haven't been communicating with. This could also be a clandestine relationship, or it could mean that it's time to surrender someone's, or this disconnection, let's say, this miscommunication. It will be coming into balance. Remember, the Lovers is Gemini, could be a head over heart decision. We've got a lot of passion here with the Wands. We've got the 5 and the 9 of Wands. This is asking for you to have patience. Healing will come through. Balance will come through as long as there's clear and concise communication and collaboration. This difficult cycle will be ending for you in balance and harmony. as long as you are using your heart and not just your logic, your mind, okay? And this could also be that someone is trying to make a decision, but it's got a lot to do with collaborating and communicating clearly, okay, and using any forms of communication, whether it's on a physical, mundane level or on a spiritual level, because remember that the lovers is Gemini. Yes, it's air, but it's also a major arcana, which is saying that spirit has got something to do with it. And 5 of Wands and 9 of Wands, that's 14. So it does ring the temperance, which means healing, which means it's all about divine timing. Something is being worked out for you, okay? You will find your balance. The lovers is also a 6, remember. So whatever choice is made, it will bring you to balance and harmony where love or even collaboration with others is concerned. Okay, so Pisces and Pisces rising. So Mars will be retrograding for you in your second house of values, self-worth, and it's also a money house. So you could be working on a project, trying to bring in more money, things that are going to make you feel good. Remember that the second natural house is the house of Taurus. It is ruled by Venus. And also you will be affected in your 11th house. 11th house is the house of wishes and dreams. It's the house of groups and associations and friendships. So if this is a friendship that you're dealing with, is there value here? Is there respect? Is there, do you feel worthy of this connection? Are you both on the same page? Is there something in it for both people? Because the 11th house is also, and finances could be in the middle too here, because the 11th house is the house of wishes and dreams, friendships, groups and associations, but it's also the money that comes through after work, after career. Okay. So yeah, that's what I see for you. That is what I see. Let's take some tarot for you. We have the 7 of Swords, which is the card of stealth. It could also mean the card of intelligence. This could be someone that you, this could be a friendship that you're dealing with. Could even be a relationship, of course, but it could be someone that you're dealing with that has been quite deceptive, not, wearing a mask. We've got the 6 of Pentacles, which means balance and harmony, of course. This could also speak of legalities, I'm going to say. Legalities, because remember that both houses do speak of money, and the 11th house is groups, associations, but also friendships. And we've got the Emperor, and the Emperor can be quite Saturnian, but the Emperor does bring something sturdy and something, he is a 4, and 4 speaks of something that's got a strong foundation. So remember that the Emperor doesn't show emotions, and he can be quite fiery. Now, the Emperor is Aries, for me, Taurus as well, but the Emperor is very Saturnian, so it's someone's trying to climb the ladder here, trying to become the Emperor. So could it be a push and shove? Who's going to be the smartest? Who's going to be the one that's going to be ruling, the one that's going to rule? So if there has been no balance and harmony here within a friendship, a relationship, a work connection, it does take 2 to tango. If you feel as though the person you're dealing with has been quite deceptive, I do feel that that's where you're going to draw the line in the sand. You're not going to put up with it. And this, of course, could also mean that some of you have been working hard, maybe even collaborating with someone This could mean you've been trying to climb the ladder. This could mean that you're trying to receive some sort of a promotion. But I do see that with the Seven of Swords, someone is trying to escape giving as much as what you have. So there is sneakiness here. Let me take one more card on the Seven of Swords. And we've got the Tower. So this is a revelation. Let's take one more on the Emperor. As we know that the Six of Pentacles, it can mean legal issues, but it can also mean just balance and harmony. Remember that the Tower is a shocking revelation that someone was either very sneaky or someone tried to get away with something. Now, this could also mean, on another hand, that you get this bright idea of how you can climb that ladder quickly. So you're cutting corners and you're becoming the Emperor. Let's take, and the money comes through, obviously. Let's take another card on the Emperor. We've got the Ten of Cups. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. Now, for some of you, as I said, you could be cutting someone out of your life because this chapter has ended. The Ten of Cups can mean the ending of a chapter. It turns into the Ace of Cups, which is a new chapter. But the Emperor is very stern. He's very Saturnian. So it could go either way, okay? Some of you could be closing this chapter if someone's tried to sneak, to take from you, and there was no balance, no harmony. You will be cutting this person out of your life. For others of you, this is much happiness with that Ten of Cups. There's been some sort of a bright idea that you've had. You've been very intelligent. You're coming into balance. You're receiving what is meant for you, and you're climbing that ladder. You're getting very secure, and you're able to rule your empire, dear Pisces. So it can work out in many, many different ways, but that's the overall energy that I get for you. All right. Thank you so much.